Hi, hey, hello, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going over my February TBR, my hopefuls for the month. And if you watched my January one, you knew that I wasn't quite sure how I was going to keep doing my TBR cart. But I think my goal is going to stay similar to what it was last month, which was finishing series. And I did knock out a few, so there are some empty slots on here. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically keep the same books from last month on my TBR, but I'm going to add a couple new ones. So I will quickly read over the titles that are in here in case you didn't see that video or you want a refresher. And then we will go over the new books that I'm adding. So we have The Right Move by Liz Tomforde, Caught Up by Liz Tomforde, A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab, God of Pain by Rena Kent, The Promised Prince by Courtney Keisel, Fault Line, and this is by Kai Stevens, A Very Merry Bromance by Alyssa K. Adams, and Glint by Raven Kennedy. So this will be my main TBR, and since there's little room, I'm going to be adding to that. Since I did luckily knock out some books last month that were series, hopefully I will keep doing the same. The first book I'm adding is a standalone. It's The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. This was the book club that I do in person. This was the pick for this month, so I have that. And this is Second Chance Romance. And this will be my first Lynn Painter book, so I'm very curious to see how I'll like her writing. I did get this pretty edition from Barnes & Noble with the little cute hearts. But this says, after living through a dumpster fire of a Valentine's Day, Emily Hornby escapes to her grandmother's house for some much-needed girl talk and companionship. There, Emily passes out on the couch, but when she wakes up, she's back home in her own bed. That's not the only shocker though. Somehow it's Valentine's Day again. And the next day, another disaster V-Day. It seems that Emily is stuck in some sort of time loop nightmare that she can't wake up from as she rewatches her boyfriend Josh cheat on her day after day. In addition to Josh's reoccurring infidelity, Emily can't get away from the fanatic Nick, whom she keeps running into, sometimes literally in unfortunate ways. How many days can one girl spend passively watching her life go up in flames? And when something good starts to come out of these terrible days, what happens when the universe stops doling out do-overs? So I am excited for this. I guess I was wrong. It is not Second Chance. For some reason I was thinking it's Second Chance. I think just the name. But it sounds like it's kind of like a Groundhog's Day recurring theme. So I'm excited to give this a try. Then I believe this is another standalone. I don't think it's in a series. But I have The Fake Mate by Elena Ferguson. And I'm tossing this on there just in case I need like a little quick refresh. Also, I really want to find out if shifter romances are for me. I will quickly read the back. And it says, Mackenzie Carter has some very bad days lately. In fact, she hasn't had a successful date in months. She's only a year out of residency, and her grandmother's obsession with her finding the perfect mate to settle down with threatens to drive her barking mad. Out of options, she feels like it's a small thing to tell her grandmother that she's met someone. That is, until she blurts out the same name of the last man she would ever date. Noah Taylor, the big bad wolf on General Denver. Noah Taylor, interventional cardiologist and all-around grump, has spent his entire life hiding what he is. With outdated stigmas still surrounding unmated alphas, Noah has been careful to keep his designation under wraps. It worked for years until an anonymous tip brings everything to light. Noah is left with two choices: come clean to the board or risk his entire career, or find himself a mate. The chatty, overly friendly ER doctor asking him to be her fake boyfriend on the same day he's called to meet the board has to be kismet, right? Mackenzie will keep her grandmother off her back, and Noah will get a chance to prove he can continue to work without a real mate. A mutually beneficial business transaction, they both rationalize. But when the fake mate act turns into a very real friends with benefits arrangement, Lines start to blur and they quickly realize love is a whole different kind of animal. I'm excited for some cheesy vibes, and I think this will do it. So, adding to my TBR. And then I don't know if this is standalone either. I think it might be. The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I did just go to a signing and meet her, so of course I gotta put one of her books on the TBR for this month. And I've heard good things about this, but this is the cover. Once again, I will quickly read the back. Vanessa Mars refuses to feel bad for quitting. She knows she's doing the right thing. The thankless job of personal assistant to the top defensive end in the National Football Organization was always supposed to be temporary. She has plans for her life, and none of them include washing extra-large underwear one more day for a man who could never find it in him to tell her good morning, congratulate her on a job well done, or wish her a happy birthday, even when she was spending it working for him. The legendary Wall of Winnipeg may be adored by thousands, but after 2 years, Van has had enough. So when Aidan Graves shows up at her door, begging her to come back, she's beyond shocked. Mr. Waldorf Emotions is actually letting his guard down for once. And she's even more dumbstruck when he explains that her job description is about to become even more outrageous. Something that takes personal assistant to a whole new level. What do you say to the man who is used to getting everything he wants? I'm excited. I think this will be good. I know it's slow burn, but sometimes, you need it. I love the tension build up and everything like that. So another one I am obviously looking forward to. So then another one that's kind of a continuation with a series that I started. It's a Wonderland retelling, and it's A Court of Hearts and Hunger by Rebecca F. Kinney. And this is book 2 of her Wicked Darling series, which I did read the first one for book club. But here is the cover. And I believe this has some of the same characters from the first book. Just as Clara and her sister are settling into their new life, Drosselmeyer sends a desperate message to the Seelie court. With Lure and Louisa occupied elsewhere, Clara and Finis, the Sugar Plum Fairy, have no choice but to respond and forge deep into Unseelie territory, where a cruel queen known as the Eater of Hearts has taken the throne. As they infiltrate the Court of Dread, Phineas and Clara are forced to keep their relationship a secret. Meanwhile, the ravenous victims of the Queen, called the Heartless, turn to the Unseelie Kingdom into a far more dangerous place than usual. If you saw my commentary when I first bought this, if you didn't, I'm going to explain, but I didn't really enjoy the first one in the series. I rated it a 3. It was good, but it wasn't anything great. So I told myself I wasn't going to continue on with the series, but then I got gifted the second book in the series anyways, which is great because it's a 3. Either way, I could continue on. But I was just trying to put other things that I thought were going to be better ahead of it. So I didn't want to start another series that I thought I could not enjoy. So I think reading the second book will be either really good for me or really bad. Either way, it'll determine if I will continue on with the rest of the series for sure. Quickly, another book that is not on here, but will be on here because I have to get my copy from my sister, I believe. She got me a new copy. It is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. So that is the most recent ACOTAR book that is out. And it is the only ACOTAR book I haven't read. And I told myself I was going to read it. So that is on my TBR card because I need to read it for the next book that I'm about to say on my TBR card. Which, honestly, if you're reading that Sarah J. Maas books in order, all of the series that she has, then just tune me out for a moment because this is not the order that you read all of her books in. So I read ACOTAR not knowing that she had other series or anything like that. And that is the only series that I've read of hers. So I know she has Throne of Glass, which is technically the first series. But I skipped over that because I didn't know. So, the next book. Assassin's Blade. And before you come for me, because I know somebody will about the reading order. Some people read this as the first book. Some people read this as the third book. I have gathered information, and I believe the best reading order for me to understand everything is going to be reading this first. I may change my mind, so if I do, then I never said this. I said Throne of Glass instead. Okay? So put this on there. I said I was going to read it in February, and it's on the TBR cart. So, fingers crossed. And the last and final book that I will be putting on my TBR cart is Heartless Hunter by Kristen. I'm going to butcher this last name, but it's Kristen Cesarli. And this is what it looks like. I just got this from Book of the Month, so once again, the rest of the books that have been sitting on my shelves for years, it's like a big F you to them. I'm so sorry. But I've heard really, really great things, and I know it's enemies to lovers fantasy, and I forget what the description on that Book of the Month had as their quick synopsis, but it hooked me instantly. So, it says, enemies to lovers doesn't get more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love. Sold. So, here we go with the description. On the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, she decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent and gain the intel she desperately needs by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp. He's a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter loyal to the revolution, and too late Rune realizes she might be falling for him. Gideon loathes the decadence and superficiality Rune represents, but when he learns the Crimson Moth has been using Rune's merchant ships to smuggle renegade witches out of the Republic, he inserts himself into her social circles by pretending to court her. He soon realizes that beneath her beauty and shallow facade is someone fiercely intelligent and tender, who feels like his perfect match. Except what if she's the very villain he's been hunting? I am so excited for this. This is probably the most hyped I've felt about a book in a minute. And it sucks because I know this is going to be a series, so there's going to be a cliffhanger, and I'm probably going to cry my eyes out because I don't have the other book. Obviously, it's not out yet, so yeah. But here's the final book I will be adding. So, overall, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 books on my TBR. Or my immediate TBR, I guess I should say. And I don't believe I will read all of them. I mean, if we're going off past experiences, I don't think I've ever completed a TBR that I've set. I've been close, but I've never read all of them in 1 month. It's fine with me as long as I'm knocking books out. I mean, I'm happy. So, yeah, if there is any books on here that you think I should start with, let me know. And I will try my best to do it. And I think for the Assassin's Blade or Throne of Glass, whichever one I do for sure end up choosing, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Assassin's Blade, I will do a reading vlog on the first book. I don't know about the whole series, but the first book for sure. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.